Hey, this is Casey Currie, podcast number 5 of Where to Next. We are up here in Oregon right now at Dune Fest, and the next adventure is Veterans Charity Ride. I'm actually flying up to Moab. My guys and my dad are going to bring the Jeeps up, and we are going to join the Veterans Charity Ride, which is a motorcycle ride from Las Vegas to Sturgis. And one of the days, we're going to take all the veterans out and enjoy Moab. I've done this for the last couple of years. I'm super excited to be back. I do love talking and hanging out with all the veterans, hearing all the stories, and doing anything I can to get back. So right now, let's get Dave on the phone, and let's get the ball rolling. I got Dave on the phone from Veterans Charity Ride. Dave, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. We're here in Las Vegas. The guys are starting to come in as we prep and get ready for our big launch this Saturday. And it was 118 degrees yesterday, but it's cooled down to about 110, 112 now.
Yeah, so the temperatures are rising right now.
Yes, and we're going to get a break here pretty soon, so it should be a good temperature for our launch on Saturday.
Nice. So just so everyone knows that I'm in Oregon right now, and I'm getting ready to fly up to Moab, Utah, and I'm going to be taking all these veterans, some of them amputee, on a day of jeeping. They'll spend some time with me, my dad, a couple of my guys in some Jeeps, and we have a great time in Moab. I've done this for multiple years with Dave and his team. But, I mean, Dave, why don't you give everybody a lowdown of what you do and why you do what you do?
All right. Well, Veterans Charity Ride is a motorcycle therapy program that we started back in 2015, and it all came about from me riding solo to Sturgis on my bike, meeting some fellow veterans along the way, really discussing the current issues and obstacles and problems the younger guys are having coming out of the military and their combat experience in Afghanistan and Iraq. So I've always been riding bikes. I've always had motorcycle therapy. It's in my blood. It's in my family. And I thought, well, this would be a way to get my fellow veterans out of the house, back into the environment, and back into living again. So we came up with this motorcycle therapy program. We got all these other sponsors and guys to help us put the bikes and the sidecars together. And we basically get the men and women that served our country out, back into the environment, back into life on these beautiful motorcycles, sidecars, recreational vehicles. Moab, as you know, and you've been part of that from the beginning, is a really special place. It's got this space. It's got the environment. You had the camaraderie of fellow veterans and guys like you that come in and just take us out and show everybody a great time, and sometimes we get into the technical driving and the riding, and it just gets them focused and back into present time. And you've seen how healing that is and how life-changing it is. And then our guys go on to get back into working, get back into the community, and start living their life again.
Yeah. No, I've definitely seen it. It's very impressive on what you guys do. So basically,
and they love hanging out with you and your dad and your team, and it's just a blast, man.
Yeah. So and then from Moab, so where are you starting and where are you finishing?
All right. So we start here in Las Vegas, and we're going to do that on Saturday. It's going to be a huge, big send-off with local veteran groups, Patriot Guard riders, Indian Motorcycle Riders Group are going to escort us out from the Nevada State Veteran Memorial that is across from Cushman Field at the Grant Sawyer building. It's this big, beautiful veteran memorial. We meet there in between 7:30 and 8. Everybody gets ready and introduced, and we usually have anywhere from 75 to 150 supporters and riders that take us out of Las Vegas, and we cruise up to Zion and Bryce for our first day and spend the night up there. And then the next morning we ride down the 12, which is probably one of the most beautiful highways in the United States. And that takes us up into Moab, where we have a huge reception, and the town is waiting for us, and we hook up with you, brother.
Heck yeah, that's one of my favorite days.
Yes.
So and then
Um,
from Moab, where do we keep going?
Okay, so we spend a couple of days in Moab. We're going to be hanging out with you. The guys are going to be river rafting. They're going to be horseback riding. They're just going to be relaxing and getting to know each other. That's where we start our veteran to veteran discussions and really get into helping each one individually with our returning mentors and the local folks and then the excursions that we put together with you and the local guys. Then from there, we take off and we go to Eagle, Colorado that Wednesday morning. Once again, it's part of our small town Americana. These small towns love to come out, and the whole town comes out and lines the streets, and we cruise into the city park where we have lunch, and we hang out with the town people that want to just show their appreciation and acknowledge these men and women that fought for this country. And these guys and gals haven't even seen these parts of the country. And it's just such a great experience for them, for the townspeople, and for the different riders and groups that meet up with us. So that puts us in Eagle on Wednesday.
Yep.
And then we spend the night in Eagle. We cruise through Colorado and up to beautiful Steamboat Springs for lunch. And more riders, more groups meeting us at Dudes and Dan's in Steamboat Springs at 11:30 for lunch. We then cruise across the 14 and the Continental Divide, and we drop down into Fort Collins Thursday afternoon. And Fort Collins at the Veteran Plaza Park, we got hundreds of local veterans and groups coming out. We have this huge brat and burger and barbecue and just a great veteran celebration Thursday evening at the Veteran Plaza Park in Fort Collins, Colorado. And then we wake up the next morning, have breakfast at the American Legion with a whole bunch of other brothers and sisters, and then we make the 350-mile ride up to the Black Hills and to our cabins in Sturgis.
Yeah, that is so awesome. So the goal is to get to Sturgis.
The goal is to get to Sturgis. Then we hang out for the whole week in Sturgis. We go to the Buffalo Chip. We go downtown. There's concerts. There's Black Hills rides. We have our own special Veterans Charity Ride on Wednesday with the Hall of Fame and the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum. And what's really cool about Sturgis, the whole town and the Motorcycle Museum has embraced us and recognized us, and they have a Veterans Charity Ride display year-round with the profiles of the veterans that have come with us and come through our program. And it's just a cool event and a cool place to see what Sturgis is all about, see what the motorcycle rally is all about, and see how honoring veterans and what a big part of Sturgis our veterans are.
Yeah, that is. It's amazing to see what you've done, and just like anyone that has ever been on a motorcycle knows that the mindset you're in when you're riding a motorcycle. I mean, almost everything goes out the window as far as what's in your head, and that freedom that you got on a motorcycle. I mean, whether some of these guys are in pain and some have other issues that they can't get rid of. Getting on that motorcycle and being able to enjoy your time and having the sidecar where a guy that won't be able to ride can actually just get in the sidecar and enjoy the roads. I mean, dude, it's got to be amazing for these guys. And obviously, hearing the stories that these guys have, I mean, it's really inspirational to see that these guys can get back outside and want to live again.
Yeah, and as you know, with that brings you into present time. You got to be in command of that machine, and you have to. And then the sidecar pilots are responsible for their fellow veteran passengers. So that gives them that raises their level of responsibility. That brings them into present time. It gets them that clear head and the wind in their face. And then the guys in the sidecars get to just kind of relax and just see the country, be part of the environment, and you're out there with the smells and the sights, and you're so close to the road, and we take all these beautiful back roads, so we take our time, and the guys just have a blast. And then within the first, second, or third day, they kind of realize, hey, I'm not worrying about what was bothering me just last week. And my future, I am in command of my life and my future, and I can take that back. And they're shown that by the mentors that have already been through the program, or just it comes to them naturally. This phenomenon happens with this motorcycle therapy, man. It just really works.
No, that is it's truly amazing. I love to to hear the stories and see some of the guys that come back and just everything that goes on. It is an awesome deal, and I'm very glad to be a part of it. So, but now, I mean, as far as what we're doing in Moab, like, you want to give them a lowdown of what we are going to be doing in Moab, Utah?
Yep. It's it's a little bit new and a little bit of surprise for the guys, so it's going to be really cool. You know that we have a veteran retreat out there, so we now have 2 houses. We operate our program year-round from there, so we're going to be having you and your guys out there even more. Can't wait for that. And you know, what we're going to do this trip, and what we started doing every year now, is we honor a brother or sister that has passed on. And we take and we give them a small ceremony and cast their ashes out in this beautiful environment. We do it for the families. We do it for our brother and sister veterans that have passed, and it's just a great experience. So we'll be meeting up with you. We'll have your Jeeps and your monster trucks, and we're going to have ATVs, and we're going to have these adventure motorcycles. We're going to meet up, and we're going to take the guys through this beautiful Castle Valley LaSalle Mountain Pass. It's going to take us up to Porcupine Rim, which is one of the most beautiful, iconic, scenic areas of Moab. And we're going to do our ceremony out there. The guys are going to have a beautiful moment out there, and we're going to hang out at Porcupine Rim. Then we're going to take all you guys and the veterans, and we're going to cruise down into Fins and Things and Hell's Revenge, which is where all the adventure bike and rock crawling and ATV activities are. And we're just going to hang out and do that for the day. As you remember, last year the guys loved cruising in the Jeeps. They loved taking the ATVs and the side-by-sides out. And we're going to spend the rest of the day showing them how to drive and navigate and be in these rock crawling 4x4 adventure bike trails.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No. And and we spend the day doing that, just like the previous years. By mid-afternoon, they've gotten a lot of exercise. They've gotten a lot of going on, and then we just kind of chill out and relax, and that seems to be that is absolutely one of the highlights of Veterans Charity Ride to Sturgis, is when we go out with you and we go into Moab and we take them and let them experience this activity that they've never really done before. It's a game changer for them.
No, it's awesome. The Moab deal it is amazing. It's a beautiful place on its own. For you to be able to get those houses out there, and where your houses are out, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, being on that river or close to the river, away from town, I mean, it's the most peaceful thing you've ever seen, and it's incredible to actually see where you're at, and the sights and the seas at night and the stars and everything else going on. It's definitely one of those places to go check out.
Yeah, the guys hanging out and actually seeing the galaxies and Milky Ways. I mean, when it's clear out there, you can see so far, and you can just see how big this universe is, and it really helps them. It puts them in perspective that they're part of this, and they're out there living and enjoying this, and this is what they sacrificed, and why they joined up in the first place was so that we could all experience these things, and now they get to experience and just have a great, unique adventure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, and now, I mean, dude, if you got a couple minutes, I'd love to hear more about you and why you started this and where you came from. I mean, honestly, with with everything you got going on, I'd love to get a little background on everything you do. I mean, it's an inspiration for most, and I mean, with myself being around you for the last couple of years and all that you've done, I mean, I'd love to just know more about where you came from, and man, what's your direction with? I mean, for any veteran, if anyone's listening out there, that if for the opportunity to help somebody else, I mean, just to know more about you and what you got going on, I'd love to hear more about it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm a Army Airborne paratrooper. I joined when I was 18 years old. I come from a motorcycle family, so I was born in a mom and pop Honda Triumph BSA dealership in Los Angeles. So I grew up pushing the broom, wrenching on the bikes, and just motorcycles were in our family and in our blood. So I always had that as my growing up. Joining the Army, learning how to jump out of planes and all that was great and gave me a great experience. I came back out, and I was fortunate. I came back out to a family business. So not many guys have that kind of safety net. So that was great. Did some work for the Department of Justice and SWAT team and firefighting, and had quite an adventurous 20 years of that type of work. Got into the film producing business, and that did quite well for me and my wife, and she was in the business also. So we had this really unique foundation. So when I was riding to Sturgis solo on my bike back in 2014, I just bought this Indian motorcycle, and hey, I'm going to Sturgis. So when I met up with the other fellow veterans, Johnny Reno and the guys that had been in much later than me, I was in 35 years ago. So starting to hear about and really get reality on what the younger guys were going through, I thought to myself, well, wouldn't it be cool to give back to them what I have experienced these past 20, 30, 40 years riding and the motorcycle experience and the therapy that just naturally came with it. Put two and two together and came up with the motorcycle therapy program to Sturgis. Got a hold of Indian and some other champions, some other sponsors, and just put this program together. And everybody loved the idea of giving back to these veterans and getting them, just helping them. So we had our first ride to Sturgis. It was a huge success. I go, man, we're really onto something here with this motorcycle therapy, and the sidecars and amputees that weren't getting out of the house are now, changing and coming back to life. And I knew that we had to do this more than just once a year and reach more than just 10 or 12 guys. So over the next couple of years, we got more adventures. You came on board, ATVs, Jeeps, recreational therapy, and we noticed, hey, we're getting the same kind of reaction to this therapy, not only just on motorcycles and sidecars, but taking them out in the Jeeps, taking them out in the ATVs, taking them out on adventure bikes out in the dirt. And, we get that adrenaline, but we also keep it really safe because we've all been through these high-speed, dangerous activities and all these guys that have been through combat. We want to give them something interesting, exciting, and engaging, but then also, safe and fun. So that's when we came up with the adventure side, and we were lucky enough to come across a couple of great deals on a couple of houses and acreage outside of Moab. And our philosophy and our thinking was, well, if we could operate year-round, we could reach 10 times more veterans. So for the past 6 months, we've been getting our veteran retreat together. We've been getting the ATVs, the motorcycles, the adventure bikes. We've got other companies that are seeing what we're doing, and they're coming on board, and they're giving us vehicles. And we wanted to come up with something that was comprehensive so that it's not just a one-and-done kind of thing. Hey, you had a good time on Veterans Charity Ride. Hey, we'll see you later. So we put this mentor program together. We put the Wellvet program together. We put the Moto Dono program together. As you know, motorcycle guys, we have a couple of extra bikes in the garage all the time, or there's a project bike that's been sitting there for 5 years and they never got to it. Well, the Moto Dono program lets the general public and motorcycle riders donate a extra bike that they have. We take it, refurbish it, get it ready for a deserving veteran, and then we surprise and present it to them to get them their own motorcycle. So we put this whole package of programs together that help a veteran at some stage in his life and some stage in his healing to where we can take them to full recovery. And that's when we came up with Adventure Vet that is operated year-round out of Moab. We've got other sponsors and companies that see what we do and have come on board. But one of the most important things, two of the most important things, one is every one of us knows a veteran that needs help, either in the family, in the neighborhood, in our community. So we have set up so that they can be nominated and they can be signed up for Veterans Charity Ride or Adventure Vet. And the next thing is that it doesn't cost them anything. So we need the general public's help. We need our supporters. We need our sponsors. We need our partners, and they're all coming on board because they see how effective this is. And that's kind of what we're doing, and the direction that we're going is the program's set up to where once you're through the program, 50, 60, 70% of the guys want to then turn around and help another fellow veteran. So that's how it's growing and expanding, and that is our vision, that it started by veterans, for veterans, and run by veterans.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing story. That's for sure. And the cool part, I mean, the giving back part, I absolutely love. You know, I did not grow up in a military family, but just like you're saying, I do have friends that have gone, and I have some friends that did not come back, and to see the help and just like you're saying, it's not a one and done. You know, there's people out there that need help, and it's not just for a week. It needs, you know, that constant reminder or somebody that's always there for a phone call away, or you know, and I know that's something that you do in your time is, you know, help take care of these guys year round.
Yeah, we're always on the phone. We're always talking, and as you know, all kinds of issues come up: financial issues, family, spouse issues, and to create this network and this support system for these guys, goes so far beyond just the week or two or three that they're with us, that they can feel and know and use this this network of not only me and my wife and the mentors, but then all the friends that they've met along the way, all the supporters, all the other guys that have come through Veterans Charity Ride, and it just sticks with them. And from year one, they're all in communication. It's all growing. It's something that is taking on a life of its own, man.
Yeah, no, it's
Cool.
awesome. No, we
Yeah.
absolutely love it, man. But hey, well, I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you so much for taking the time to get on the phone with me. I know you have a lot going on right now, and I'll let you get back to doing that. But we will see you in a couple of days, and yeah, man, I'm excited to be back in Moab.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's absolutely one of the highlights of our adventure, and we'll be out here, and we'll get the guys out of here Saturday morning, and it will get a lot cooler. Right now, I think it's about 112 in Vegas. So you enjoy yourself in Oregon, because I know it's probably gorgeous and beautiful and cool out there.
Yeah, no, it's 65 degrees and overcast. Can't really complain on the weather here, but you guys have safe travels, and we'll see you guys in a couple days.
All right, brother. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you.
All
Okay,
right.
Casey.
All right, bye.
Cheers.
Man, Dave really inspires us all. That guy does a lot of good for the community, for all the veterans out there. If anyone has any interest, you got to go check it out, veteranscharityRide.org. He has a fantastic website. He does a great amount of stuff for the community. It doesn't matter where you live. He can get a hold of anybody. I've met people from all over the country. We do Moab every year with him. Last year during East Jeep Safari, I gave a couple guys some rides in the vehicles, and you know, I try to stay in touch year round, and anything we can do to give back, we're all about it. So you need to go check it out. Follow us along. We will be in Moab next week. We're in Oregon right now. It's 65 degrees and overcast. On Saturday, we fly to Moab, where it will be 120 degrees. So where to next? The podcast, we're getting momentum. I'm excited for all the events we have going on. Hopefully you guys take note of where we're going and what you're seeing. And if there's anything that you guys want to hear more of, please let us know. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and obviously subscribe to the podcast channel. We need the feedback. We want to travel more. We want to do more. We want to meet some new people, and let's keep the journey moving. Talk to you guys soon.